Zhang Ailing's Little Reunion. Woman, please love yourself well. Little Reunion is a special work for Zhang Ailing. In her later years, she continued to revise it and made a will to destroy it. It can be seen that Zhang Ailing is full of contradictions in her heart about Little Reunion, having high hopes and worries. What's special about it is that it is an autobiographical novel by Zhang Ailing. The protagonist Julie is based on Zhang Ailing herself. I said in Little Reunion that I am not polite. It is always better to expose this kind of situation yourself. Zhang wrote in a letter to his friend Song Chi. Wrote, Little Reunion allows us to get to know a girl who is quiet, reserved, sentimental and strong-hearted. A poor woman who has been pursuing love all her life, but never got it, and ended up alone, Julie. And Julie, who has lost the halo of genius writer and independent new woman, may be Zhang Ailing's true self. 1. Julie was born into a declining noble family. Her mother, Ruiqiu, received a new education since childhood and was the first generation of runaway Nor in China. When Julie was 4 years old, Ruiqiu went to the ocean to study alone. Julie and her younger brother were brought up by servants. When she grew up, Julie didn't want to recall her gloomy childhood. Whether the memories are pleasant or unpleasant, there is a kind of sadness. Although it is light, she is afraid of the feeling. Just thinking about it. It was like standing at the door of an ancient building and looking in the moonlight and darkness. Thousands of houses with broken tiles and ruined buildings can be seen in the shadow, and you can already tell where they are all at a glance. Julie's father was a typical example of an old man from the Qing dynasty. He went to casinos, visited brothels, and smoked opium. He lost all his family property and forced Julie's mother to divorce him. The stepmother who remarried even abused Julie in every possible way. Once, because Julie went to see her mother Ruiqiu privately, she was severely beaten and imprisoned by her stepmother and father. After returning home, Julie, who was imprisoned, felt relaxed. The 2 storms that were like confusing dreams had gone far away. It seemed that no matter what happened, she just needed to be alone for a while. This it is a kind of confusion that comes from the depths of childhood, and it is also a kind of concentration. It was in such a dim childhood that Julie stubbornly grew up alone, like a cactus in the desert. Even if there is no one to care for it, even if nutrients are scarce, even if the sky is full of wind and sand, it can still grow tenaciously, but its whole body is covered with thorns. From then on, it was difficult to get close to others, and I could only deal with the world cautiously. I was afraid of hurting myself, but also worried about stabbing the other person. After escaping from her father's house, Julie went to seek refuge with her mother. However, her mother's residence did not receive meticulous care, and Julie just lived more humbly and depended on others. In order not to ask her mother for bus fare, she would rather walk half the city to make up classes. When a bowl was broken at her mother's house, she paid for it with her own money. When I was buying a bowl, I saw that peonies were pretty and it was Mother's Day. So I used the remaining money to buy one and give it to Ruiqiu. Unexpectedly, when I went back to open the package, I found that the flower stem was broken. Julie heard a loud bang in her ears and was shaken out of her mind. She thought she was going to be called stupid and a pig by her mother again. Psychologist Alfred Adler said, "Happy people are healed by childhood throughout their lives. And unhappy people are healed by childhood throughout their lives. Children who lack love in childhood find it difficult to believe that they will be loved wholeheartedly when they grow up. And they cannot learn how to get along with and love others equally. They live in fear at all times, with an attitude of inferiority, standing in each other's perspective and demanding themselves harshly, just because they are eager to be accepted and loved. But they are often hurt again and again in love." 2. I'm 22 years old. I write love stories, but I've never been in love. It's not good for others to know. Julie couldn't help but feel a sense of emptiness. At this time, she longed for love. At this moment, Xiao Jiang walked into her life. He published an article in a magazine to publicly praise Julie's work. His article was extremely talented. He comes every day and sits there for a long time. Julie has never been so valued by others. when a talented mature man like Xiao Jiang was willing to give sincere appreciation to the tiny Julie and devote time to accompany, pay attention to her, Julie fell. Even though Xiao Jiang was an official of the Wang government and even though he had a wife, she still fell in love with him. She has no requirements for him, because Julie feels that only purposeless love is true. This person really loves me, however. From all the author's descriptions, readers cannot find any basis for the statement really love me. Later, Xiao Jiang also said, I just expressed a little affection for you. I took about 6 steps and you took 4 steps. But she admired him. After Yang left, she picked up all the cigarette butts in the ashtray and put them in an old envelope. Such humble love did not bring about wholehearted and undying love. Xiao Jiang could not even give her the monogamy that Julie advocated. Before Julie, Xiao Jiang had 3 wives. After Julie, Xiao Jiang had a confidant in Nanjing, Miss Xiao Kong, a Japanese housewife who had a romantic relationship, and a Qiaoyu girl who sends a long way to Beijing. When Julie asked him to make a choice, Xiao Jiang said shamelessly, why should good teeth be extracted? It turned out that Julie was just one of his many good teeth. For Xiao Jiang, Julie is not the first, nor can it be the last. In the correspondence, Xiao Jiang even smugly told Julie about the scene where he and Qiaoyu slept together, just because he felt that Qiaoyu was also very good, and Julie had to be jealous of her too. What a shameless perverted mentality. What an unscrupulous vicious heart. The more you lower yourself in love and the more you compromise, the more your sincerity will be ruthlessly trampled and despised into dirt by those who betray your heart. The pain is like a train that keeps rumbling all day long, with no gap between day and night. As soon as I wake up, it is next to my pillow. It is a watch, and it has been gone all night. At this time, Julie gradually woke up painfully. Her soul seemed to have passed through iron. She gradually became stronger and decided to leave Xiao Jiang. When she met him, she became very low as the dust. But she was happy in her heart, and flowers bloom from the dust. This is what Zhang Ailing wrote to her lover Hu Lancheng, and also to her beloved Julie. The way he looked when he saw Xiao Jiang. However, the flowers blooming in the dust are weak, sad, and pitiful. Even though they are beautiful, they're short-lived and fleeting. Women should not live so humbly in love, and love should not bloom in the dust. It should face the rising sun, bloom with confidence, and keep blooming. 3. In 1995, in a rental house in Los Angeles, the United States, Zhang Ailing was discovered by her landlord a week after her death. The most outstanding female writer in modern China passed away from this world so lonely and tragically. People can't help but sigh. And they can't help but ask, why is such a good person like you lonely all your life and having a miserable ending? Perhaps we can find the answer from Julie. Since childhood, the helpless Julie has never felt that she is loved or worthy of being loved. So she does not dare to stretch out her little hands to embrace the world, fearing that she will only receive contempt and contempt from the other party. If, when her mother pulls her across the road, their hands can be held tightly, instead of letting go immediately after crossing the road, maybe they can adapt to each other's temperature and get a little warmth from it. If, when her mother said goodbye to Julie and went to Hong Kong, Julie could hold her mother and cry instead of hiding in the cabin and crying alone, they would understand how much they need each other. If, when her mother wanted to see Julie for the last time before she died, Julie could follow her heart to see her and treasure the jewelry her mother gave her, instead of selling it, then the relationship between her and her mother would not be so completely broken. Not even a trace of thought was left behind. Julie said, only Ruikyu and Xiang have made me suffer. Julie, who has never reconciled with her mother, is destined to never dare to face the homeless little girl in her heart. Unable to accept this girl who is waiting to be loved of myself. People who don't know how to care for themselves have a hard time facing their own emotional needs. She didn't love her mother bravely. She didn't hate Xiao Jiang thoroughly. In her relationship with Xiao Jiang, Julie has always been the passive one. Xiao Jiang loved her, and she accepted it with a smile. Xiao Jiang loved others, and she still accepted it with a smile. Although she smiled reluctantly, she still forced herself to accept it. Even if she was in such pain that she thought of committing suicide, even if her soul was as strong as iron, Julie, who was sleepy in the morning, would still put her arms round Xiao Ziyang's neck and whisper, "Jiang." Many years later, Julie once dreamed of Xiao Ziyang. He pulled her with a smile, and she smiled shyly. There were several children in the dream. After waking up, Julie was happy for a long, long time. Perhaps this is the dream that Julie has buried in her heart for many years and has never been realized, and it is also the true meaning of Little Reunion. However, for both Julie and Zhang Ailing, Little Reunion is only in dreams. 4. What women need to learn most is the ability to love, and the person who should love the most is themselves first. Only when we learn to love ourselves and fully accept ourselves can we get along with the world equally. So, please look away from unworthy people. Look at yourself, pay attention to your feelings, and look for your dreams. Don't be that little flower that humbles itself in the dust. Live like a sunflower under the sun, confident, brilliant, and radiant.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.